24/7, 365. The fantasy season never dies. Welcome to Every Day is Draft Day. Presented by Champions Round.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first live edition of Every Day is Draft Day. I am your host, Dan Turner. Joining me, as always, after she's taking her nap, Steph Smalls.
What's going on? It's Friday.
It's Friday. Absolutely. A lot of big news to go through today. Really excited. Can't wait to talk about it.
You sound so excited.
I am very excited. This is the most excited I've ever been about anything in my entire life, honestly. My entire life. So, first big news, Odell Beckham got released by the Browns, ended up being signed by the Los Angeles Rams. I know that he's your favorite player of all time. So, what do you think of the move to the Rams by Odell?
I don't understand because Deshaun Jackson was upset that he wasn't getting targets, asked to go elsewhere. We know Woods has been vocal about it as well. The reason why OBJ wanted a new team is because he wants targets. But they convinced him. It sounds like he was talking to some other teams and he's going to go over there to Los Angeles. I think winning is more important, but is that actually going to be the case for OBJ? Because we have seen him whine in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that there was more places he could have gone for maybe more money. But I think that he definitely has the best chance to win. Unless he went to like Tampa or something, the Rams are definitely his best chance to get that ring this year. You know, they traded for Von Miller, signing OBJ. They already have, Kupp, Woods, Stafford, the running game, the defense, Ramsey, Donald. So they're pretty much all in this year. I actually really like the move for him. He's not going to be – what do you mean, ew? Why do you –
Yeah, but how do you feel about it for the other player as far as fantasy goes? It's
as far as
good
fantasy,
for Stafford.
It's great for Stafford. I mean, I own a ton of Stafford. I'm ecstatic for Stafford because he can literally throw anywhere on the field now, and it's going to be caught by somebody. I think it really hurts Van Jefferson a lot. I know a lot of people were excited about him. He was coming along pretty well the last couple of weeks. I think that pretty much decimates his value. I think it maybe takes away a little bit from Woods and Kupp, but not as much as I think people think. I think it also pretty much decimates Tyler Higbee's value too. I think he is hit the hardest as well. So I think Jefferson and Higbee are the big losers in this Odell signing. But I think everyone else. There's no one. You can't double anyone anymore. I mean, I'm not sitting here and saying that the Odell that the Rams are getting here is the Odell from New York, because it's not. He's had some injury concerns and stuff, and he's not old, but he is getting up there. But I think that overall, I think it's a great fit. Schematically for the Rams, you can just throw them into that receiver group, and then they're definitely all in for a Super Bowl this year. So it'll be exciting to watch.
Well, yeah, there's talk about all in. They truly are. But I think Higbee. He's on my sits for this week. I think that he does definitely take a hit here. We were starting to see him more involved, but unfortunately, I think that with OBJ, are you picking up OBJ? What are you doing with him?
Well, he's not available anywhere. On waivers or something. He was already if he was on the waiver wire, I'd pick him up. Absolutely. I think that the kind of offense, they're throwing a ton, and it's just Stafford is an upgraded quarterback over Mayfield as well. So I definitely, I wouldn't expect him to be the wide receiver one there, because that's not what he's going to be. But for fantasy purposes, he's definitely going to get you, at least as much as Van Jefferson did.
Yeah. What's hilarious is I just pulled Twitter up to retweet our show, and there's a bunch of trending things on the side, and the third one is Van Jefferson, and the fourth one is Robert Woods.
There you go. See, yeah. That's
you can't make that up.
That's it's the important thing. That's what's happening. But I do think it's funny that the Rams don't have a first round pick until about 2036 or something like that.
Yeah.
For on a real football sense, I think it's a good move. It's a low risk move. You're not going to get anyone that talented on in free agency at all at this point in time. And if it doesn't work out, I mean, you can just get rid of him after this year. So they're not really losing much in there, and it really gives them the easily, besides maybe Tampa, like the best receiving core in the league.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes over there.
We will see how it goes. So yesterday we had some Thursday night football action. We had the Dolphins and the Ravens. I think so. I don't know.
That was football.
From the '60s, maybe. I don't think it was football from now. The Dolphins upset the Ravens, who I guess decided they didn't feel like playing much yesterday. Jacoby Brissett started on the Dolphins and then got hurt, and then Tua came in, and Brissett was deemed healthy, but they kept Tua in even though he had that fractured finger. Did we learn anything from the game yesterday, or should we just chalk it up as a Thursday night game and then move on with our lives?
I'll just say something positive instead of being negative, because we all felt the same way watching that game. It was kind of torturous. It kind of got interesting in the second half. Rashad Bateman, 6 for 80. Okay, cool. Like, that's cool. So we're getting Rashad Bateman involved. I don't know why he was involved earlier on. He didn't really get targets till the end, but I think that's positive for Rashad Bateman as far as fantasy goes. I don't know what the Ravens went in. I don't know what the game plan was. It did not work. They kept doing the same thing over and over again, and they lost because they should have lost. So I think that the only good takeaway from this is Rashad Bateman as far as the Ravens go.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that running game isn't as good as maybe the Ravens might have hoped for. It didn't get it done yesterday for sure, but Bateman is definitely someone that you should definitely, if for some reason he's still available, target in fantasy and pick him up or trade for him, because he seems to be definitely one of the three main guys there with Hollywood and Mark Andrews in that offense. The takeaway for me was the Dolphins' defense. Actually, I mean, yeah, Baltimore didn't do that well, but Miami's defense sacked them like 75 times. I mean, it was crazy. They had those couple. Xavier Howard had that pick, so it was really surprising to me how, for a 2-7 team, how good the Dolphins looked defensively, and where was that like the rest of the year? Pretty much is where I was wondering.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start only betting on underdogs. This is going to be my new thing.
Yeah.
Because I think you could just win a crap load of money if you just bet on the underdogs. Because between week 9 and the start of week 10 here, we're seeing these underdogs just step up to the plate. Or are we seeing some of these teams that maybe are not as great as everyone thought? I mean, granted, the Ravens are coming off that overtime win to the Vikings. They had a short turnaround there. Does that play a part in it? I don't know. I think Miami just looked better. I don't know what's going on with Tua. I don't understand suiting up but being unable to start. But in the exact situation that we got, does Jacoby go down? Then it's okay. He can go in. Then you see Brissett ready to go back in. Flores goes, no. Like, as if they knew to, like, the whole thing's bizarre. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what the situation is with Tua, but it's very interesting watching it play out. It's very confusing. And I can't imagine how Tua feels, because I don't think he has a lot of – the front office doesn't have a lot of confidence in him between Watson, I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. Like the whole, waving off Brissett when it was healthy. And then why didn't he just – if Tua was good enough to start most of the game, why didn't he just start him? It just didn't make any sense to me. But,
yeah, and then they have Tua in, and he is airing the ball out. It's not like they're just passing the ball off and having it run – like –
right.
The finger looked fine.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was hurting him at all when he was doing his downfield passing and everything. But hey, Flores, I don't know what Flores was doing, honestly. It was very confusing. But hey,
flow. That's what I want to call it.
They got the win, unfortunately, which hurts the standing of the pick that the Eagles got from the Dolphins. But hey, it's fine. Whatever. All right, so we had some start sits coming out today from both of us.
Yeah.
So you want to touch on a couple of your starts first, and then we'll.
We can talk about a player that we both it was on both of our starts. It's also my boosted player for Champions Round this week, and that's Freiermuth.
Mm-hmm.
Freiermuth is a guy to have. He's a tight end to have, especially with Big Ben dwindling down the age tunnel of doom, which I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of. Is they can really rely on him. He's getting into the end zone. He's racking up points. He's a great. If he's still available in leagues, now is the time to get him because he's turning into a very reliable option. 10-1 weeks 8 and 9. So I'm all in on him as far as from now and rest of the season.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. I mean, I had him as my boosted player last week, which is why I didn't want to copy it back this week. But everything you said was correct. I mean, Ben and him have a solid rapport going on. It's continued up to this point. It's going to continue, I think, moving forward because I don't believe that, I don't think Juju's coming back. So he's definitely become a key part of that offense. He's dominating that in the middle of the field and in the red zone. He gets some great yak, and Ben trusts him, which is important. So everyone's always wondering where the next breakout tight end is going to be, and everyone wanted to be Kyle Pitts, and he was doing great too, but no one really paid any attention to Freiermuth, at the beginning of the year, and he's turned out to be, just as solid as Pitts has been, consistency wise, and with how much of a crapshoot that tight end is normally. It's definitely someone that you can depend on, which is huge.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just go into one of my other starts is Matt Ryan. The Cowboys D is starting to show the reason why we were worried about the Cowboys going into the season. They're allowing about 22.3 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks for the last 5 games. Matt Ryan is scoring great numbers. I love him this week. I think he's an awesome play. He's someone that probably is a streaming option if you do have redraft. So I'm all in on Matt Ryan this week, which, I get a little nervous about him. I don't know why. I know he's a very consistent fantasy option, but I kind of stay away from him. But this year I'm pretty all in on him.
I agree. I mean, I think that at the beginning of the year, everyone was really high on Dallas's, defense, and they were getting a ton of turnovers. Like Javon Diggs had that ridiculous interception streak of 8 straight games or something like that. But once the turnovers started to slow down, the holes and the cracks started to show in the Dallas defense, and teams have been starting to take advantage of that the past couple of weeks. And everyone was worried, with Calvin Ridley not being available for Atlanta's offense, how it was going to turn out. But Kyle Pitts is kind of just slotted in there as the number one guy in the offense now. And they still have Cordell Patterson and Russell Gage coming back. So I agree. I think that, he's not going to Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to get 30, 35 points. But if you needed a dependable, QB this week, I think that Matt Ryan would be a solid bet to get you those points.
Yeah, love it. And it's so crazy because, Ridley was supposed to be this really big factor, and we're watching them do just fine, and I think we either talked about this on the episode earlier this week, or it was on Smalls Talk Smalls. I forget which one, but they have these 2 players that kind of double as wide receivers. They have Cordero Patterson,
Mm-hmm.
They have Kyle Pitts, who are just wide receivers listed as a running back and a tight end. So they didn't really suffer a hit. I would like to see Russell Gage more involved, but Matt Ryan has done just fine without him, So one of my starts, you texted back in the group chat after I submitted them and said you would rather was it eat lead or chew lead? One of the two.
I'd rather chew lead.
Right. So Dan would rather chew lead than start Singletary, and I typically would agree with him. I disagree, but I will preface this with Moss needs to not be in the game for me to feel this strongly. But I think that he has a very nice matchup against the Jets. He's scoring almost 12 points per game as far as fantasy goes. It's the Jets. They've allowed most of their matchup running backs to at least get 13 points plus. Zach Moss did not practice yesterday, and I don't really see him playing. I think they'll keep him out, and I think if they're smart, they will do that because they don't necessarily need him. Let him get healthy. The problem is everyone rushes back these guys. So, I think Singletary could score a nice 16 points this week. Why not?
16 points?
Why not? He's
Are
done
you
it
crazy?
twice this season. Why not?
No. He's no.
Okay.
That's not going.
We'll have a side bet about it.
We will have a side bet after the
Okay.
show. But it's not that I don't. I mean, I just don't trust the running game at all in Buffalo. I mean, if
That's
they get
fair.
near the goal line, then Josh Allen's probably going to take it and score as much of a chance as Singletary coming in and scoring. Will throw it to Knox or whatever. So it's not that he's definitely, if Moss doesn't play, he's definitely going to have the opportunity. I can't deny that. I just don't. I'm not a fan of his talent or the fact that the Bills just seem to always ignore their running backs no matter what happens. So that's why I said I'd rather choose Led than start Singletary. But at this point in the season, if you don't have any other better options, then you might as well. You can't, with the amount of volume he's going to get and the opportunity. That's definitely, he's a decent start. I have to admit that. I mean, I'd rather not start him, but if you have no other options available. If you have no other options available, then you can go ahead and start.
Fine, I will take that. And I don't know why I'm switching to six, but I want to just bring up a running back because that's where I'm at in my head, and we're gonna jump around, and then I'll let you go over whoever you want.
Anarchy. Fine.
Jamal Williams, don't love it. Steelers are really not helping fantasy running backs at all. Up there at 3. I think him and Swift are going to struggle. Swift at least can get in the receiving game. I see Pitt coming out very hot, and I think that he's not really a flex option for me this week.
Yeah,
you can make an argument for Swift because I think they will use him still in the receiving game, but I think this is a hard matchup with the Steelers getting hot.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on that one. I mean, you explained it perfectly. I would trust Swift just because of the work he's getting in the receiving game, but with the kind of run defense that Pittsburgh's been displaying, I wouldn't really touch Williams going into this week.
Yeah, and with that, I'll just add on. We'll just make it a 2-for-1. I'm also sitting Goff. If for some godforsaken reason you're still hoping that that's a good option, I think that there are some better options there for you as far as streaming a quarterback. I don't think that Goff is the answer. I mean, we all watched what the Steelers do. How many J.J. Watt is on freaking fire. This guy is not going to slow down. So I'm out on those two guys. You could make an argument right there for Swift, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't really want to play Goff anyway. But I mean, if you have any other options, like Mike White, I play Mike White over Goff. Honestly,
that's what I was gonna say. You're in my head. We're turning into one person. Isn't that cool?
No, it's not at all. It actually worries me greatly, and I should probably seek some. But you made a good point. Like it's a bad matchup. I never really liked Goff overall, so I just rather stay away from him if there's any other options. So going to my starts, and actually one of your sits. So this is something we're going to fight about. I'm starting Devontae Smith against Denver. One, because he's pretty much the only credible receiving option the Eagles have, and I expect us not to be able to run the ball that much against Denver. So I think that he's not going to have like a huge game, but he's definitely going to be good enough to start overall. Why are you sitting him?
Because I just am over. I can't do that. He's just. I guess maybe I have my feelings hurt, and maybe that's not enough. But Denver has only allowed 3 touchdowns to receivers the past 3 weeks or whatever the hell it was. I think that you guys are in for it this week. I think that the Broncos look good. That secondary is something to pay attention to, and I think that they're going to have their hands all over Mr. Devontae Smith. I would love him to have a good game, but again, every time we get these questions, it's apparently you guys have these beautiful benches with so many options. So now I'm basing it off of that. I think that your bench has Judy and Sutton and Smith and everyone on there. So I'd rather play Judy this game than I would Smith because of the way that the Broncos are playing and because you all act like you have beautiful benches.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he had a really good game last week. He had over 100 yards and touchdown. And Denver's pass defense it's pretty much middle of the pack. Their run defense is much better, I think, than the pass defense is. So that's why I'm not as worried. I mean, he's shown that he's a really good route runner. He can get open. It's really just about if Jalen Hurts can throw him the ball once he gets open. So I think he's definitely going to have enough targets to warrant starting this
fair.
week.
So funny because you just said Jalen Hurts, and if I'm not mistaken, he is on your sits.
He is. Yeah, he is. It's, the Eagles have gone, they took all the comments about not running the ball and completely went 180 and now run the ball all the time. And, in the past couple of games, he's thrown for like 170 yards and no touchdowns. So he's not giving you that, even in garbage time if the Eagles are losing badly, like he's not giving you those rushing yards for him anymore. He's not giving you those decent pass totals and those multiple TDs. So after what the Broncos did to Dak in Dallas, I don't have much faith in Jalen performing well, especially since it's in Denver. So that's why I have him in my sit. Also because I'm impartial and don't love everything just because of the Eagles.
And you have don't you have another you have another Bronco? We apparently love this game.
We do, yeah.
Because I have another Bronco too. So go ahead.
Do I have a Bronco? No, I don't have another Bronco.
I thought you had Melvin Gordon. No.
I did, yeah. He's my boosted player. Yeah, Melvin Gordon. Yeah, I expect because I missed the boosted player. He's my boosted player. I think that he's going to destroy the Eagles' defense because for whatever reason we just don't seem to value linebackers whatsoever. They're just replacement level players that we can pick up off the street and start. So once he gets past the D line, he's going to rush at least for 100 yards. I think easily. Him and Javonte. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them ran for 100 yards. I'd start both of them if I had either. So I think he's going to have a huge game there. It's going to be that running ball control offense that they have, and the Eagles aren't going to be able to stop it at all. So I figure that he's definitely a must start for me in this game.
What are we going to do when the Eagles and the Giants play? We're going to have to cancel the show that week.
I'm just going to do the show by myself.
Okay, who else you got? Well, I have Judy too. I think Judy's a smash start this week. I think that if he finished within the top 20, it wouldn't be completely shocking. I think he had about 9 targets, 6 catches for like 69. Nice. Like something like that. 69, 70 yards, whatever it was, something around there. I think that he has only looked better. I think it's time. He's on the verge of a big game. Call it gut, call it statistics, whatever you want to. I think this is the week that we see him score a touchdown. I see him getting in the end zone this week.
No, I agree. I don't have any real faith in the Eagles defense to stop anything anymore, really. So I wouldn't be surprised if he scored. Absolutely. One thing I do want to mention that wasn't we didn't write on the associate that it was actually kind of breaking news just before it came on was Alvin Kamara is actually out.
Wait, you were too busy crying, so we forgot.
I wasn't crying. I said why are you lying to people? I wasn't crying. So
guys, he was crying.
So with that news, do you automatically? I hate you so much. Do you automatically start Mark Ingram, or do you look elsewhere if you have other options?
I definitely take the Saints money line. I think Ingram will be I think he's a nice flex option. Again, these are not guys I'm getting super excited about. I would be more excited to go like a McKissick route than I would Ingram. Because I still think that the Saints backfield without Kamara is not very well defined there. And then you also have a quarterback. I mean, did they say how do you even say his name? Simeon, whatever.
Simeon.
He's playing, right?
Yeah, he's starting.
Okay. Well, where's Taysom Hill?
He's on the bench where he belongs.
Okay, well, does he want to play football or not? What's going on?
He might want to play. He shouldn't play, though.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. So Ingram, I think he's a nice flex option. That's it. That was my long way of saying yes.
It took you 6,000 words to just say that sentence? You couldn't have just been concise?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what happens with naps. All right. Well, that seems to be it for today's show.
But here's the best part. I hope everyone stay. If you're still on right now, you need to stay to find out how you can get a signed, is it jersey? Trey Lance jersey? Or
Trey Lance jersey, yes.
Jersey. And my co-host, Dan, is going to tell you the phrase that you need and how you can be entered to win this jersey.
I don't want to.
You have to.
I don't want. What was the phrase? I forget.
Oh no, you don't. It's okay.
I don't remember. I don't remember at all.
Oh, you're gonna be in trouble.
Please tell me.
The phrase is, what is it? Lance, make her dance.
Yes, I know. That was the phrase. I know the phrase. I just wanted you to say it.
And what do you do with the phrase?
All right. So basically, you go on to this video, and you get the keyword, which is Lance makes her dance, and then Lance makes her dance is the key phrase, and then you go on either this video or our previous Everyday is Draft Day video, which was on Tuesday, and comment who your Rookie of the Year is going to be, and that enters you into a chance to win a signed Trey Lance jersey.
Yes. Lance, was it Lance makes? It's makes. I said makes.
Lance makes her dance.
Yes. Okay.
That
I
is
just wanted
the
to hear you
phrase.
say it again.
I know you did. I hate you. All right, so that'll do it for today's episode of Every Day is Draft Day. Tune in next week where we'll have more shows. Hopefully more live shows because live is fun. I enjoy doing live.
Live is fun.
Live is greatest. All right, so Steph, would you like to tell everyone where they can find you everywhere?
Sure. You can find me co-hosting with Dan on these shows, and you can find me at Steffi Smalls with 3 L's on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the platforms. And I look forward to doing more live shows because these are a blast. Maybe we should do our Q&A next week here.
I agree. I think it would be fantastic. Live questions are always the best, honestly. I love that. Or you can find me on Twitter at EagleDanFF. I'm also hosting Every Day is Draft Day. Probably with new co-hosts whenever Steph quits the next 5 minutes after the show's over.
Which will be in 10 minutes.
It'll be in 10, yeah, exactly. As soon as the show ends, quit. I'll also write articles for Champions around a waiver wire sit start and draft preview, which I'm actually going to post tonight. So make sure you take a look out for that. All right. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Good luck with your fantasy leagues and have a good time.
See ya.